There are a ton of amazing designs within the Marvel Snap community. This was posted to my Discord by Kai, and there are just all these fantastic designs. I can't wait to go through all of these. First, we have VivVision here at a 4 energy, 3 power. Whenever this card moves, gives a friendly card plus 2 power. So it's going to hit a random friendly card. Maybe you Iron Fist this. Doctor Strange would be kind of difficult because this probably won't have the most power. Of course, you can Heimdall this, but I feel like generally 4 energy cards have 8 to 9 power in order to make them worth it, or have some big payoff, like maybe White Queen is 6 power, but she gives you a card and gives you a lot of information. But yeah, we got like Jones at 8 power, Drax at 8 power, stuff like that. All the big 4 energy cards have about 8 power, give or take. So this would need to be moved 3 times in order to be a 4/9. In a movement deck, you probably want to play this, but you know, just getting it with the Heimdall is just going to make it a 4/5, which is probably not worth it. I would like to see this buffed up to maybe whenever a card moves, give it +1 power. Maybe that would be too busted, because then you just make a big tokeny board and Heimdall it, but beautiful, phenomenal. I'm so impressed by this. Next card is Destiny at a 4 energy, 3 power. Ongoing, gain +3 power for each location that has been changed this game. This is a really cool concept, being able to Scarlet Witch things or Storm things and get rewarded for that. Here, you just need to hit 2 things. This would also make Rhino pretty good. But yeah, being able to Witch and then do a Rhino and then do a Storm. I think those are the only 3 location changing cards at the moment, but such a cool concept here. Very creative and would make Rhino finally good. If you hit 1 location, it's going to make it a 4/6. And if you hit 2, it'll make it a 4/9. Probably don't want to run 3 location disruptions, because then you're going to be at a 4/12, which would probably be, I think, one of the largest 4 drops aside from like Darkhawk. But if they added more location changing sort of stuff, could be good. Also, things can randomly change based on which locations you get. Also, maybe shuffling them would kind of change it. Let's move on to the next card. We got Mania here. 3 energy, 3 power. On reveal, destroy your other cards here. For each destroyed, afflict an enemy card here with -1 power. This is really cool, being able to like, I don't know, eat a rock or something. Of course, it has like that Venom sort of symbiote action going on where you just eat things and then afflict your opponents with -1 power on that lane. So kind of like Spider-Woman in that sense, I guess. But yeah, if you have a bunch of squirrels here and you eat them, you hit an enemy card with -1 power. I wonder how overtuned this would be if it afflicts all enemy cards there with -1 power. So let's say you just have a rock. You use this, you eat the rock, and it gives them -1 to -4 energy or -4 power. That might be a little bit overtuned, but I feel like just hitting 1 is not worth it. But a really cool design nonetheless. I love it. Maybe it should be like a 3/0 with the afflict all enemy cards here with -1 power. But if they have 4 things and you eat 3 things, then it's gonna be 3 energy, 12 power. But that's like best case scenario. I don't know, a really cool design. Nonetheless, curious to see what you guys think about this one. Next up, we got Hawkeye Kate Bishop here. On reveal, if you play a card here, next turn, destroy a random enemy card at this location. This is a 3 energy, 2 power. This one seems a little bit overtuned to me, but a really cool design. I think this should be almost like 5 energy. Destroying a random enemy card at this location is a lot better than something that is like, I guess, Gambit. Your opponent could play an armor and react to it though, assuming they do have priority. But this is really cool design. I think something like this should be implemented, but seems a bit overtuned. Yeah, just thinking about Gambit, it's a random discard from your hand to hit a random card on your opponent's side of the board, which is very, very random. Sometimes they get that crazy snipe. This kind of funnels it down, and I guess your opponent can maybe play around it by flooding that location with a bunch of things. But yeah, just imagine this and just sniping that big, I don't know, maybe they play a Red Skull and this just snipes the Red Skull. Pretty crazy. Next up, we have Spiral here with 6 energy and 3 power. So this will come down on your last turn. usually. Ongoing, if your opponent has 4 cards at this location, afflict all enemy cards here with -3 power. So it kind of punishes them by having a full lane, kind of like Mojo, I guess, but Mojo, you need to fill up your side of the board. This is just like a overtuned Spider-Woman maybe, because Spider-Woman is 5 energy, 7 power, afflict with -1, which ends up putting her at a 5/11 if she hits 4 enemy minions, or enemy cards. I always say minions, sorry. But it'll afflict them all with -3 power. So let's say they do have 4 cards here. You're hitting each one with -3. That's -12. You can add that to this card. This would become a 6/16, which is maybe busted. It is ongoing, right? It's not on reveal. But if your opponent has 4 cards there, which is I think the only time you would play this, well, they're probably just gonna lose that lane, and you can use stuff like debris, I guess, to kind of fill up their lane, and then just make this a little bit more consistent. But at the same time, it would be kind of easy to play around. So a very, very strong card, possibly a bit overtuned. At a 6/16, kind of, it would be one of the strongest cards. Destroyer used to be 16s, now 15. But we do have some 20 power cards out there, such as Infinite, which has a crazier condition to be met. Next up, we have Flatman here at a 4 energy, 4 power. On reveal, set the cost of all cards in your deck equal to their power. Now, this is very crazy. Mr. Negative swaps the power and cost, but this sets the cost equal to the power, which is similar but different, right? Am I tripping? I did just wake up, but so like Iron Man would become a 0/5 if it was negative, but in this scenario it would be a 0/0, which seems less overpowered. This is almost just seems like a really good change to Mr. Negative if Mr. Negative gets a little bit too overvalued. Or overpowered, I guess, which I don't think he's overpowered at the moment. But yeah, Flatman, kind of like a negative. Negative does have a bit of a drawback because he's -1. Flatman is a 4/4, so a bit less of a drawback as far as just playing it out. But of course, the cards you draw will be less possibly overpowered, like Iron Man. Really cool design nonetheless. Definitely got me thinking here about all the different cards that could benefit from this. We got Mister Immortal, a 1/1 here with the ongoing. When a card is destroyed, gain +2 power and play it at this location. So this card you would play and then maybe use a Killmonger. It's gonna come back as 3 power. Maybe use a Carnage on it. It's gonna come back as 5 power at that point. Maybe use a Deathlock or something, and then a Venom. It's just gonna keep coming back. That's a really cool concept actually, and I feel like this will easily get 5+ power, probably 7 consistently, because there's tons of effects to kill things. Really cool concept, very thematic, and might be a bit overtuned. Maybe should be a 1/0 because I feel like it's just too easy to meet. We got Big Bertha here at 3 energy, 2 power. Ongoing, if your opponent has 4 cards here, gain +4 power. So this is kind of like Mojo, but a little bit different because Mojo needs both players to have a full 4 on each side, right? Big Bertha only requires your opponents to have 4 cards. And if they have 4 cards, it's a 3/6, which is in line with a Swordmaster. I think this card is really cool, and I think relatively balanced. Maybe a 3/3 + 3 would make it even too good. I feel like this condition is relatively easy to meet, and then you can even double ongoings and stuff like that, which I don't think you would want to with this deck. But this also just fits in like a Spectrum deck and stuff like that. So really cool design, good card, love it. We got Doorman here at a 2 energy, 4 power. Ongoing, when you play a card here, move this to a random location. I'm assuming when you play a card, not when someone plays a card. So a little bit different than like Titania, for example. But with Doorman, he's just going to constantly be moving around to a different lane. He can get into a lane that maybe you can't play in. He can also just get into a lane maybe you don't want to play him in, which could be awkward, but it's a really fun design. At a 2/4, I feel like it's pretty good, kind of like a cloak stat line. But yeah, just jumps around everywhere. Really fun, enjoyable card here. We got Silver Sable, 3 energy, 2 power. With ongoing, discard any card in your hand that didn't start in your deck. Now this is interesting because maybe you get stuff you don't want in your hand, like maybe the Black Widow, the Widow's Bite, what else? Rocks, just cards from your opponent's deck, I guess, if you do some of that stuff. I don't know, with Helicarrier, this would be interesting. Just any of the shield agent sort of cards would be very interesting with this. And then also you just held and bring it back. I feel like this would just be a crazy Hela card. Or like Moon Girl, everything gets discarded, and then you also play Hela. Pretty bonkers, pretty wild. That'd be fun to mess around with. Yeah, Moon Girl. Because then you don't actually risk discarding anything, but you would need to draw your Moon Girl, your Hela, and your Silver Sable. But really interesting design. I feel like this could get out of hand really quickly. I'm probably not thinking of all the possibilities here, but yeah, the main thing that jumps out to me is like Moon Girl, Hela, or maybe just like a Ghost Rider here as well, without having that risk of discarding a card you don't want to discard. Most importantly, your Hela and your Ghost Rider. Next up, we have Captain Britain here, a 5 energy, 4 power. With ongoing, your cards at the location to the left have +2 power, kind of like Claw, but a little bit different. Let's say you have 4 cards on the left. This is going to get +8 power to the left, right? So it's the same as Claw if you have at least 3 cards. I believe Claw is also 5/4, but it adds 6 to the right. I think right now there are no ways to add power to the left except for Mr. Fantastic. He adds 2, right? Maybe I'm missing another card, but Captain Britain, kind of like Claw, but different. And I have been talking about adding power to the left for a while now. Also like moving things to the left or to the right with like Heimdall. So just like flipping directions of things, I feel it can be really cool. I don't know if Captain Britain relates to Claw at all in the lore. I don't think so, but a really cool design here. I think this would be great and not too overpowered. So if you do hit 4 things here at 8, it is a 5/12 at that point, but you know, it's ongoing. It could be countered. Dinosaurs are often larger than 5/12. All right, and then this last one, maybe I just make this full screen because they've even got a Christmas variant here. Look at this. They got red SheHulk at 4 energy, 9 power with on reveal, give your opponent's cards here +2 power. So kind of like Red Skull, but instead of ongoing, it's on reveal, but maybe your opponents have not played anything there. I think this design is actually so good. There are a lot of 4 energy, 9 power cards that have a hard condition to meet. Maybe like Rescue, maybe like Warpath. There's definitely more than those 2, right? Am I tripping? But yeah, giving your opponent +2 power. They might not have a card in that lane because it's a 4 energy card. So maybe this is a little too good. Maybe you should give your opponent's cards their +3 power or something like that to make this a 4/6. I feel like that would be fine. If you're just hitting 1 minion with this, it's a 4/7, which is really good value. But yeah, just hitting this on an empty lane, kind of nuts. Also, we have to consider Zabu at this point, which would just be crazy. Maybe having like a couple of these and being able to just Zabu a couple of them out because you Moon Girled or something would be just game winning in that lane. But of course, by the time you're doing that, your opponent probably has cards in that lane. But my God, this was amazing. This was a really good time. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much to Kai. These must have taken quite a while to make. At least if I try, I could never make these. What the heck? These are the best custom cards I've seen. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you do enjoy these custom cards. This one didn't have any consistent theme aside from just being really, really well designed and visually superb. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.